Today, I'm going to find out if you can build the best FiveM RP server using AI. In the last few videos, we've been pretty generic. We've been getting to make basic scripts, basic servers, basic frameworks. Today, I just literally want to see if we can make the best FiveM server to rival the likes of NoPixel. But today, I'm not going to be using just a normal version of Claude. Over the last few weeks behind the scenes, I've been trying to work on a version of Claude that is specifically built for FiveM. Okay, so first things first, I've gone ahead and set myself up a basic Qbox server right here on the HTN Panel application. I have got a Qbox server ready and running. It's right here on my desktop, and now we're going to give it to AI. We're going to see if we can make the best thing ever. Okay, and right here in front of you guys is the application and version of Claude that me and my developer have been working on for ages. What I'm going to do is, first of all, we're going to open our server directory. So we made it so we can go ahead and open a folder right here. We'll select our FiveM server folder, and it should then basically auto detect our framework, and then we're good to go. On the left is our server files. You can see it's a basic Qbox server, as you would expect. On the right now, I'm going to type up a prompt to basically get the best RP server we can. But first of all, we're going to make sure that we're set on the correct thing. So I've got it set to Opus 4.8. So that is Claude's second to latest model, but in my opinion, still the best for coding. I've gone ahead and still typed up a prompt, and I've said, I want to build the best FiveM RP server possible. I want to rival NoPixel. I want custom everything. I want playability, so custom jobs and things players can do, etc. I want very polished UIs for everything. No simple structure, and I also want it to plan the whole thing in stages, around 5 stages, so we don't want it to be too long and be sat here all day, and I want the AI to lead the entire process. So this should build us the ultimate thing. No half-assed baked things, no trying to see if it can do things. So I'm going to press enter, and we're going to see what Claude can do. Now it's laying out a master plan. Stage 1 is the foundation and identity, which is in brackets, the feel. Stage 2, core player loop, whatever that means. Stage 3, economy and job. Stage 4, which is player activities and immersion. And stage 5, which is the polish, progression, and anti-cheat. It says I want to start at stage 1 because the UI design language we build there gets reused by every single script afterwards. It's what makes the whole server feel custom everything. Okay, so it is now going to start building stage 1, which is the HUD. And straight away here, it's now asking us a couple of questions. So what status element should the HUD show? Full survival set, standard set, or minimal? Full survival set. Why? Or standard set? No, we'll do full survival set. That sounds pretty good. Style, curved radial rings, sleek vertical bars. We'll do this one. It says modern NoPixel style. So there you go. Money and identity. How should money and job info appear? Top right stacked. We'll do top right stacked. Okay. And now I think it's just building us the custom HUD. Yeah, there you go. It is apparently locked in. It's going to start checking our server config and existing setup before building. And you can see it is thinking right now, and it should just be doing everything for us. Okay, and it is done. That was actually really quick. So you can see that it locked in just like it said. It was building the HUD, and then stage 1, a custom HUD has been built. The resource is called HTPixel HUD, and it's under standalone apparently. Yeah, here we go, HTPixel HUD. It's given us a list of the files it's made right here, which is really nice. And then it gives us a full feature set. It gives us the controls to toggle the HUD on and off. And then it defines the accent colors here. So once you've confirmed the HUD looks right in game, it will move us on to stage 1's next piece, which is the custom notification and alert system, which will reuse the theme of this HUD, which is cool. But you can see right here, it's now asking us if we want to start the server and check for errors. So we click allow, and you can see it is booting the server up for us and checking for errors in HTPixel HUD, which just means that we don't have to go anywhere, because before we were always having to go back and forth. Me developer wanted to make it super simple. Here we go. It has tested our server, and HTPixel HUD is live and running with 0 errors, and stage 1 is officially underway. But first of all, we need to test it, right? So let's start the server, loading game, and we should be able to just test the script. There you go. Server is started. Let's boot FiveM and join. Okay, and we have spawned in, and you can see our custom HUD. It actually looks really nice. In the right-hand corner is our cache and our bank UI with our job, which looks really good. In the bottom left-hand corner is our energy, which does indeed work. Yeah, nice, good animation. And then we got our hunger and our thirst. All of that works. And then our chat which you can see actually has a really nice little glowing animation, which is pretty nice. But there you go. That looks like more or less our theme is going to be like a black and gold type of theme for the rest of the HTPixel server. So that is interesting. Now let's carry on with the next step. So let's stop the server, then move on to whatever it wants to do next. Okay, so now it looks like it is moving us on to the notification system like it said. So what notification type should it support? Obviously, we want the full suite. So we'll click that and then click next. Now, where should the toasts appear? Top right slide in, bottom right rise, top center drop. I want top center. That just makes sense to me. Cards drop down from the top center, minimal and bold. Should it override OXLib notifications automatically? I would say so. It just makes sense. And then we click submit. And then it should just go ahead and start building us now this custom notification system, which then also works with our design of the HUD it just built. Okay, and boom, pretty quickly it has built us a fully custom notification system. Full suite, like it said, that hijacks lib notify, so every existing resource instantly renders in the top center, drop down style, zero code changes. We got the full suite, so it's toasts, which is some sort of drop down card, help text, and then we got 3D floating text and persistent progress, so a bottom center alert with a progress bar or spinner. We got all the files it made right here. How to test it, we can do /test notify apparently in game to see the notifications work. And then once we've done that, we got to do one remaining thing, which is the pause menu. And then we can move on to stage 2, which will be interesting. So let's ask it to run the server, check for errors. We'll load in and see if this notification system has worked. Okay, and you guys can see our custom notification system right there. I'll do test notify again. Success, heads up, error. These look really, really nice actually. And they're in the center, just like we said. They match the theme of our HUD in the top right hand corner. I'm pretty impressed actually. That's really, really nice. So let's go back to Claude in Oven and we will see what it does next. Okay, so I've told it to move on to the next thing, which I'm pretty sure should be that custom pause menu, which to me is pretty interesting. I have never seen an AI make a custom pause menu. So there you go, custom loading screen and a pause menu. It's doing both of them? Oh no. Okay, I think it's doing both of them. That's interesting. So what should the loading screen look like? Cinematic backdrop. Yeah, I don't know where it's going to pull the images from. Or a video animated. We'll do cinematic backdrop. I think we might have to add the images ourselves. And then load screen content, full panel. Go for it. And then a pause menu. We want a reskin native menu. Recolor the GTA front end to the server accent and custom header logo text. Custom NUI overlay or header only. I want like a custom HUD completely. So we'll do that one. Maybe this will work. Hopefully it will work. I wasn't expecting it to do two things at the same time. So let's click submit. See what Claude does in the application. Okay, and interestingly, it's handled that really well. So it has now built us both of them. Completely custom loading screen and a pause menu. So that is stage 1 entirely complete, which is apparently the identity layer. So now we're ready to roll on to stage 2. But first of all, start the server. We'll make sure everything runs as it should. The AI will error check, which it is, which is nice. Then we can load in game and see if this works. Okay, we have loaded in and the loading screen is working. I didn't add any images for now. So if you add images, it should flip between them. But this looks really nice. It matches that black and yellow theme like we said. It's got scrolling did you know things. It's got community with Discord store rules, server rules with like a custom background. That'll look really nice. It's got our server name as well. I'm pretty impressed. Okay, so I'm in game, loading screen worked, but I press pause. We have no custom pause menu. So I don't even know what it's done here. It's not working. So we're going to go back to the AI, back to Claude, tell it the custom pause menu isn't working, and then hopefully we can move on to stage 2. So I went back to the AI. I told it that it wasn't working. We're back in game, and if we press escape, we have a custom pause menu, which actually works, which is crazy. We got players online, our uptime, our ID, Discord, we can toggle the HUD. You can see it's working. We can disconnect settings, which, yeah, I guess it needs to add that. Keybinds, which gives us keybinds to open things. Apparently, we can also open the pause menu with F1. Okay, and we can. Makes sense. Wow, cool. I'm surprised the pause menu actually worked. The UI matches. It looks pretty nice. I'm pretty impressed. This is actually doing a really nice suite of UI. So let's go back and we're gonna move on to stage 2. So real quick, you guys can see I told it that the pause menu wasn't appearing, and then right here it says, let me read the pause files. It basically found the issue. It disabled the entire GTA basic pause menu, and yeah, and it worked. And you can see actually right here, it did say that it added F1 and then the keybind as an alternative opener and a raw escape handling to close, which is nice. But there you go, it worked. I'm pretty impressed. So let's stop the server and then move on to the next stage. Okay, so it is moving on to the next stage, which is the core player loop. And right here, it looks like it is making us a multi-character selection screen. So how should the character selection screen look? Cinematic PED showcase, a grid of character cards, or a sidebar list and live PED previews on the right. We'll do most immersive NoPixel style. Okay, we'll do that one. I think it might struggle with that, to be honest. And then what details should each character slot display? Full profile, last location and playtime. I don't reckon. We'll just do standard. We'll do name, job, cash, and bank balance. Slots and actions. How many character slots and what actions? Multiple character slots up to 5. Create new, select and delete. Okay, yeah, perfect. So we'll click submit and we will see what happens. Just right here at the bottom though, it just says slots with paid unlock. So it would, I guess, implement it into a Tebex store if we had one. So that's interesting. But let's click submit. And now the AI should move on to stage 2, the first bit, the core player loop, which is our cinematic PED showcase multi-character selection screen. Okay, and boom, it is finished building us the cinematic character selector. So stage 2 has begun. The resource is HTPixel multicar, which is in here. Yes, it is right here. It looks pretty good actually. The code looks pretty clean. And then how it works is it uses the default QBox server callbacks, which makes sense because we actually made Claude here refer to all of the framework's documentations for whatever framework you're doing. It was something we tried to make it do just to make life easier. So you can see it's done that. It's built us this. It's in the standalone folder, so we don't need to ensure it. And our PED just sent in a randomly chosen cinematic scene. So then good to move on to the spawn selector. But first of all, I want to check this in game, obviously. Okay, and we have spawned in. We have indeed got a custom character selector, and the UI looks actually really, really nice. Yeah, it just looks really nice. Actually, we got our username, our money. We can make a character right here as you would. Really nice UI. Yeah, I really like all the effects it's using, and the money all syncs up. So it's pulled the cubicle exports really well, or the QBox exports, but you can see there's a little error where my character's sort of floating in the background. I just don't think Claude yet has the ability to know where the correct coordinates are, so it doesn't really quite understand it. But let's spawn in, just make sure it works. We click play. Yeah, and it works. And here's the default QBox spawn selector. We got our custom HUD. We got our custom pause menu. This is really coming together, actually. I'm pretty impressed again. So let's go back to Oven, our Oven application with Claude. We'll move on to the next couple of scripts because I sort of don't want to be hanging around going back and forth. Maybe we'll do 2 scripts this time. Okay, so I forgot to stop the server when I asked it to move on to the next steps, so I stopped it and then stopped the server. But now we're moving on to the next steps in stage 2, which is the spawn selector. So you can see right here, it needs us to do a couple of things, I think. Okay, so now it is asking us how the spawn selector should be presented. So interactive map, location cards, sidebar list, and a preview. I like that for some reason, so we're just going to go with a live camera preview of the location on the right, and then on the left a sidebar list. And then options, which spawn location should the player get? We'll just go for the full set, obviously. And then behavior, how should new versus returning players be handled? New characters go to an apartment. Yeah, that's just how it should be. And then returning players get the full selector. So let's click submit, and now it should go ahead and start building us that spawn selector. And then I think just for the sake of our sanity, I'm going to get it to move on to the next script, and we'll test 2 at a time. Okay, and boom, it is finished. We have got stage 2 spawn selector ready to go. So it has built us the resource HTPixel spawn, which should be in standalone. There it is, HTPixel spawn. Config looks really nice. We got the spawn locations. We got the client lure. Yeah, it's just pretty much as you would expect. So it's finished. There were no errors. We're good to go, but I don't yet want to spawn in. I want to just get stage 2 completed and out the way. So it's actually already prompted us to do that. The next is the unified radial menu. and the death downed EMS respawn thingamabobby. So you can see next and then thing. I actually really like how it's laid out our stage 2 progress. We've done the multi-character, we've done the spawn selector, so let's get it to do that. Let's get it to finish off stage 2 with the radial menu and RP interactions. Okay, and apparently we are done, which means we can test the whole of stage 2 and move on to stage 3. But first of all, let's have a look what it has done. So stage 2, fully complete. The core player loop is finished. We've got HTPixel interact, which is a radial menu and RP interactions. So we hold left alt, rebindable via oxlib. HTPixel death, which is a down state and EMS respawn, which is cool, I guess. And then that's stage 2 complete. I'm not sure what else it did. Yeah, I think, oh, and the command /me/do/id. So we'll start the server. I guess it will check all of them as it usually does. Yeah, it's now checking interact. Then we will load in game and we'll check the whole of stage 2 and then move on to stage 3. Okay, so we spawn in, pick a character, click play, and now we're greeted to our spawn location, which works. Yeah, apartments, pillbox, hospital. The camera locations are off again. This is that coordinate issue where it doesn't seem to quite know what it's doing with the coordinates, but the UI is really, really nice. The LS International, it all works. It goes to more or less the correct area. Yeah, it just needs a bit more training on the coordinates, I would say. But the UIs it's making is really, really good. I like the little buttons down here. I like the animations. I like how it's all fitting in with the entire theme. So if we spawn at, let's say we'll spawn at the Legion Square, click spawn, it should work. Boom. And it has worked. Our character should spawn in sometime. Okay, so it does look like we've got a couple of issues with our character not spawning in. And if we hold alt for the radial menu, it isn't quite appearing. It's just going on and off screen. So let's go back to Claude in Oven and see if it can fix it, and then we can move on to stage 3. Okay, so I went back to the AI, and hopefully now it has fixed itself. If we click play, we should now spawn in at Legion Square, hopefully this time with a character. And boom, we do indeed spawn in with a character, which is nice to see. Now, if we hold left alt, apparently it has fixed the radial menu, and it has. We have got a functioning radial menu, and it does actually seem to work, so that's pretty cool. We got ID card. It pulls up an ID card with its own UI, which is nice. We can hide the HUDs. Okay, that works. We can do hands up, maybe. Yeah, hands up works. Interactions, we can wave. Yeah, that also works. Vehicle. Okay, so that needs to be in a vehicle, but wow. Okay, so it works, but I don't think there's any way to cancel something. So I don't know if we can do /EC. Okay, so we can do the standard /EC to cancel the emo, which makes sense. But I'm pretty impressed that the HUD works. It's a bit weird how this is like a box. I think it's tried to use emojis, but it looks really nice. And the custom HUD for the ID card also looks good. Wow, I'm impressed by that. So now that's all fixed, let's move on to stage 3. And just so you guys can see right here, I did say to Claude that there was the bug with it not appearing. It found it, it fixed it on the first go. Pretty impressive. Okay, so now we need to move on to stage 3, which at the beginning was 2 to 3 legal jobs, 1 to 2 criminal jobs, a job center, then stage 4, which is housing, apartments, player-owned businesses, then stage 5. I don't think we have enough time to cover all of this, and Claude has already pretty much proved itself. So we're going to speedrun a couple of these stages, and then basically we'll have a fully complete server, which of course we could go ahead and develop more just like the stages it's laid out. It's going to take ages if we sit here going through testing everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete the whole of stage 3 myself and cut back to once it's done, and we'll load in game and check it all together. Okay, and it looks like Claude in the Oven application has finished itself up again, and stage 3 is fully complete. Stage 3 complete, economy and jobs. We have a trucking job, a drugs job, a job center, but stage 3 is fully complete now. I did all of that in one prompt, which is really impressive actually to handle it all in one prompt. Now we just got to allow it to check for errors. We can load in game. Okay, so we're back in game, and now we should be able to test everything that it just made in stage 3, which is all of the jobs. So we'll really quickly fly through and just test the basics to see if these jobs work. So we'll go open map, And somewhere here should be a job center. Yes, right here is a job center by the looks of it. Yeah, there we go. Job center. So we need to teleport ourselves over here and see how this works. Okay, so we're here. We do left alt and then employment services and boom. This is actually really cool. The only thing which sort of is annoying is the fact that the text is black on gray, but the UI and what it's done in like pretty quickly is really impressive. So we can be a trucker, a mechanic, a taxi driver, a garbage collector, and it's sort of like categorize them. Wow, this is really impressive. Okay, and now let's really quickly test this job. So driver terminal, clock on. This is the trucker job. So now what is this? So well, this is where we pick up our paycheck, I guess. So now we gotta go driver terminal. Okay. And then we can take a truck. This one doesn't have like a crazy UI actually, which is interesting. Okay, so this seems like it's working. We can enter the driver terminal, take a truck, clock off, accept contracts. And then we can cancel a contract. Okay, cool. And then we need to go test the drug script that it made. Okay, so yeah, this is where we go ahead and get the drugs. Okay, and then over here is apparently where we process the product. And then it has a mini game, which is really cool. Boom, but obviously we don't have any product anyway to process. But wow, it seems like the jobs are working. We don't have time to fully test them all, but from what I can see, yeah, they are indeed working. And we do have the start of a pretty impressive server right now. Okay, so I've asked it to start and finish off stage 4 because we've been at this for a while and this video is going to be about an hour long at this point. So I've asked it to start, finish off at the same time, and it says that it is going to finish it all in one pass, but keep it tight and high quality. So it's shipping the 3 pillars of things players do, a reusable minigame library, a gang turf war system, and a housing property system, all in one prompt, all sharing the same theme. I don't know how it's going to do that, but it seems like first of all, it's tackling doing the minigame library first, and then it will do the gangs and the housing. Okay, and not even that many minutes later, stage 4 is apparently complete. It did the whole thing in one pass and kept it tight and high quality. So it's built us HTPixel minigames, a reusable minigames library with a tension bar, some sort of sequence memory node, and some sort of lockpick. Then we've got HTPixel turf, which is gang turf war. And then we have HTPixel housing, which is property ownership. I'm impressed that it's managed to do all of that in one pass, to be honest with you. And you can see all the files it's made. But then it does just say, want me to run stage 5 and close out the whole build. So we are so close to being done. So let's allow it to start the server and check for errors. Then we'll load in game and see what it does. But this is going to be interesting to see what it's managed to do right now, because I'll be impressed if it's done all of that in one pass. You know, building a turf system, a housing system, and a minigame system in one go. That's pretty intense. Okay, so we've loaded in, and AI told us to do /test lockpicks. So if we paste that command in, boom. Okay, and it's working, and we got our own UI. Oh, I messed it up. Okay, so now we need to test the other thing, which was test hacks. So we'll do that. Wow, this is so cool. Our custom, I don't know how this works. I have no idea how this works. I think we might need to be able to like touch it on screen. I have no idea how this works, but wow. Look at that HUD, it works. What happens if you fail it right now? Okay, and then you fail it. This is pretty impressive. So what else have we got to test? Set gang, let's see if this works. So /set gang, ID, ballers, and then grade 3. And then we do /turf to list the zones. Okay, and it is listing the zones, but it seems to be behind our HUD that we have. Okay, there you guys go. I toggled the HUD off and you can see it now. So Grove Street is family, forums, drive, ballers. Okay, makes sense. Okay, and you can see on the map, wow, this is so cool. We have little areas for the gangs. Okay, and I've teleported to a gang area, and on the top of our screen right now is a HUD for the gang system, which is so cool. And because we are a baller, because we said it earlier, it is fine. Like the meter isn't going down, it isn't red. This is really cool actually to complete all of this in one go. So the final test we got to do for stage 4 is the housing system, and then we can move on to completing the whole thing with stage 5. Okay, so I'm guessing the property is any of these on the map right here. So we should just go to these, and I guess the property system should just work. So if we go over here and we go up to it and press E, apparently it should work according to Claude in the Oven application. So drive to property blip, press E to buy, E to enter. So somewhere here is the property. Found it, it's here, and we need to buy it by pressing E. But for some reason, there's like a car blip here. I don't know why that's there. I think maybe it's using the wrong blip. Unless, no, yeah, that is definitely a blip. But we can buy it for 85,000. So it looks like it's working. So if we set our money, okay, there we go. Corrected my ID, and we've got $1 million in our bank now. And we press E, we should be able to buy it. And we have a UI, and it all matches. Wow, this is so impressive. And then we press purchase. Boom, we have purchased it. We can enter our property. And we have entered. We've even got a colored little blip that works. Wow, and this interior basically adds up to what I would expect it to be actually for this type of house. So that's really cool. Wow, and G to manage. We have our own thing. We can put money in the safe. This is so cool. Wow, it nailed stage 4 actually. That's so impressive. Okay, let's go ahead now and move on over to the final stage of stage 5. And then we'll decide if we've got a server better than NoPixel. Okay, so I'm back in the Oven application, and we're back with Claude, and I'm going to just say, wrap it all up, start and finish stage 5. So let's press enter and see what it does. I reckon from the beginning, we could have just said, completely go through and do each stage all in one prompt. And I reckon it would have just done it all. So you can see right here for stage 5, it's going to ship the 2 pillars that tie the whole server together and protect it. Server-wide XP reputation leveling system and a server-sided anti-cheat validation layer. And then it's going through checking the framework, reading the server.cfg. Both resources drop into the standalone, which that's what it's done the whole time. You can see all of them right here. So many scripts. And then we should be done. This is pretty cool, actually. Okay, and finally, we're done, apparently. That is the last stage complete. Stage 5 is finished. The build is finished. That's pretty interesting. So now it is finished building HTPixel progression, which is a server-wide XP reputation level by doing /skills, and then it tracks skills across the jobs it's built, one-line integration, level up feedback. Okay, pretty cool. And then HTPixel Guardian, which is an anti-cheat and validation safety net. It apparently is a server-wide protection pass, watching native server events and a Qbox state, never trusting client values that matter. It's got money, watchdog, snaps each player's cash and bank balance, God mode, weapon blacklist. Okay, so there must be a config for it, and tiered response and an admin to review players' flags. That's cool. So that's it. The last thing we got to do, hop in there and test the scripts. So we're back in game. Let's go ahead and test it as it said. So we need to press F7 or /skills for the progression and UI. So let's do /skills. Boom. I thought it wasn't going to work then, but it has. And we've got a really cool UI that it's made so efficiently as well. We haven't really had to do much prompting. It was so quick. Lifestyle, legal, criminal. This is so cool. So let's try what else it said to do, which was give ourselves XP. So if we paste on in this command and enter our ID, which I think should be 1, boom. And we, wow, we even got like a notification and it all works. And then if we do the skills thing again and we go to the mechanic job, yeah, we've leveled up. That is so, so cool. And like our overall level is level 2. This is really impressive. So yeah, that works. So we'll do relog quickly and see if it has persistence. Relogged, and if we do /skills again, yeah, and it is doing it. I don't know what the error is here. When we relogged, it gave some error, but I haven't actually come across any issues. But yeah, it's working. The persistence is working. Wow, this is impressive. It looks so good. Okay, moving on to the next thing, which is the anti-cheat. So we do /guardian and our ID to review our flags. So we'll do 1. Boom, no flags on that player. Nice. That just works. That's so impressive. And then we want to do an armor cap. So /set armor 100 repeatedly. Should flag armor over cap. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so I was doing that, and you guys can see I was actually expecting it to like flag up in game, but it didn't. But you can see here that we have indeed got the anti-cheat working. Entity spam, I tried to spawn in a bunch of different things. Yeah, and it was blocking it. It was working. It didn't crash the server. Entity spam, it's working well. And I think that the application that we built was actually pretty impressive. I think we've got a couple of things that we need to improve upon. I'd love to hear your guys' ideas of what we can do with this application. You guys let me know what you think, and I'll see all of you guys in the next video.